Well, still Nigeria 2015 here on Channels Television, and we are looking towards the big moment in 29 states and across the country that will be going to the polls to elect governors in such states. Some, the incumbents, are not coming back, while we'll be seeing new players coming into the fray, while for others that won't be having governorship elections, well, they have the big one going into the assembly. And we'll be looking at how Nigeria can forge ahead, looking at, well, if we're of age or come on the age of electronic voting for 2019, trying to marry that with what is happening with INEC. And of course, Captain Aliyu, you are also on a trajectory telling us how well we can harness these gains that we have had so far. For Naji, he did say, well, this can actually show the way. It's like a compass that can show us the way to go in 2019.
Yes, indeed. I must concur with what he has said. Going E as an INEC is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much prospects involved, and it can only become exponential as we explore them and go further. Yes, there will be fitting problems, but no. I mean, that shouldn't obviate the entire prospects. I was talking about the implication for security. Security-wise, I am one very, very enthusiastic person about a cyber command for the Nigerian police force. We can start from there. I tell you why. If the Nigerian police force does not have a cyber command in place in the next 5 years, the crime sector will outpace the security sector. We are going to see, let me borrow economic terms now, as a hyperinflation of crime, where there will be more crime than we can actually battle with. It's going cyber. And the thing is, everything about our existence, from elections, even going to market. One day I caught my wife trying to buy tomatoes on one, what's the name of that line? That
it was online.
Somebody knocks on your door.
Imagine, would you have had an issue with that?
Absolutely. I was like, what's happening? She said, no, she was trying to buy tomatoes. And I was like, tomatoes on your iPad.
And you would have seen the tomatoes, they would have sorted them out in grades. Okay? So it's not that you are buying blindly. You see what you are buying, and when it is presented to you, it will exactly be.
And if you don't like it, they can take it back.
Naturally, you would have loved it before you ordered. The only thing is now, because of the drivers of the process, they must be credible to deliver
so
what you
why
ordered.
were we against the card reader then, if it's so seamless? And
that was a new thing. And you see, when you don't have visionary leadership, the people suffer. Can you imagine a situation where you are 3 in a family? The last born is the most brilliant. Okay? The elder one is used to doing things the old ways. And the young one now comes home and says, this is the way. You say, will you shut up? Those of us who are older than you have been doing it this way. How dare you come and... Because they are not thinking. They are anachronistic in their thinking. You understand? But that suggestion would have even made everybody live happily. So what we are saying is, when you have visionary leadership, a leader who may not himself be compliant, but who is so open-minded to allow things to flourish. Because human ideas, when you say, I buy this car, I'm flying an aeroplane, these things didn't just jump in. Somebody conceived of them and began to think of how to bring these ideas into fruition through painstaking scientific effort. So these things, accidents don't happen. Accidents don't happen. If you are looking for your purse and you find 30,000 naira, so you placed it, but you have forgotten it. You just didn't germinate there. So the point we are making is that leadership in this country must begin to learn how to be open-minded. Allow things, try things. Most of the discoveries made were accidental. And most of them were military efforts. Okay? You decide, you try this. If it didn't work, you foreclose that one for now and get some people to go back there to find out why it did not work. Meanwhile, we proceed. That's how progress is made.
Okay, Captain Omar, this new trend that Nigeria is imbibing,
it's catching on across board. I mean, the electorate, the politicians are seemingly buying into it, as Mr. Naji said. They are learning to type.
Let me share something with you. Back home in the north, we have our septuagenarians, octogenarian daddies who also trooped out the mass to vote. And one of my old ones went, and he happened to be at one of those polling stations where the card reader had a problem. So when he approached the polling officer and there was a problem, he actually asked him which network was it using, so he could send someone to quickly buy a recharge card. And they were saying, why number the network? As in, they are telling him, no, it's not a mobile phone. It uses a network, even though it has a network problem or it has some configuration problem. So we don't really need you to assist us with that. So you can see that it's sinking in.
Yes.
It's a form of awareness.
Yes.
It's coming to stay.
Okay. Yes, it's sinking in, but the politicians are continuing with, for lack of a better word to use, with their agitation. They're continuing with their boast.
Yeah.
How would that catch on eventually moving forward?
I understand that. Even religion, when religion first came, there was resistance. Okay, Christianity, Islam, there was resistance. But down the line, what have you seen? It has spread. What I'm trying to make you understand is the politicians, particularly in this particular election, in these 2015 elections, are probably going to be the learning point for others to come. Those that caught on the e-process bug lately, actually it reflected on their spread. People were mostly informed. What Nigerians know about politics, voter rights, everything you can think of about elections today was informed by this social media network. Regardless of the tribe or tongue you speak, if you go to Google, there's Yoruba, there's Hausa, there's English. So people exploited that. People were able to do their pinging, their tweeting, and all those things the young ones do. And come to think of it, security-wise, who are the foot soldiers for violence? It's the young ones. Who are actually the ones that are most exuberant and naive? It's the young ones. They're just like blank slates. So if we have a cyber command, the security agencies can exploit that to actually insert non-violent, pro-peace messages through social media. If you call them to a lecture, they'll probably get bored. But if you put it on Twitter or BlackBerry or all those things they like to do everywhere they are.
Mr. Naji, let's leave the new trends now because the election proper. 29 states are going into the election. 7 states are not having any governorship election whatsoever. Yes. Now there are about 10 incumbents that are likely seeking re-election. What do you think is likely to happen? These are like, some will say these are the states to watch, but others will say states like Rivers, Benue, Adama are some of the states to look at. What do you think?
Almost all the states should be watched, even where the governor is not coming back, because the governor not coming back does not mean that he's not interested in what happens upon his exit. Even where there will be no governorship elections, the governor there, the incumbent governor there, must be interested because the House of Assembly membership will determine his fate. And given the flurry of activities going on and the frenetic manner they are going, you can't afford to go on perhaps just on a luxury voyage, so to speak. You must keep tab on developments, and that's why states will be different in their dynamics, but there will be one central thing that will run through the gamut of activities across these 29 states. That thing will be the play for survival.